wonder. Apparently she stayed in Kensington for Christmas. London? Thought I saw her in St. Bart's. What, on a yacht? No way, not after the accident. I heard she never wants to set foot on a yacht ever again. Sipping from her flute of pink champagne, Karin Cavendish ignored the whispers coming from every corner of Donna and Daniel Delamere's Eaton Square ballroom. Her presence at the christening had completely upstaged her new goddaughter's big day. The 100 guests who had attended St. Peter's Church an hour earlier for Evie's baptism were now circulating around one of the most beautiful ballrooms in London. Forget power christening, thought Karin, popping a caviar blini on her tongue. This was more like a royal wedding. Waiters milled around with trays of bubbling Krug and delicate canapes. Filipino housekeepers were discreetly plumping up silk cushions and taking coats to the cloakroom. The net worth of the guests in this room alone must be over £10 billion. She'd not seen such a fine gathering of billionaires since her own wedding to Sebastian 6 years earlier, at the Cavendish family seat of Hopton Castle. Backlit by a long, gilt-framed window, Karin's elegant figure was attracting discreet, admiring glances from the men in the room. It had been a difficult 6 months, during which time Karin had thrown herself into her work and seen only the closest of friends. But now she was back on the circuit. It seemed that her new status of widow was not without its advantages. It removed the suggestion of predatory desires that so often accompanied a glamorous divorcee or single woman. "We can't tell you how honoured we are you agreed to be Evie's godmother," said Donna Delamere, approaching Karin, clutching her 3-month-old daughter Evie. Karin leant forward and gingerly pulled back the voluminous folds of the Brittany lace gown covering the child with an elegantly manicured finger. "Oh, I wouldn't have missed it for the world. Lovely ceremony. And how is my goddaughter?" "A darling," smiled Donna with pride. "Don't you think she's just so pretty? Anyway, let's mingle." Karin followed Donna through the crowds, nodding at acquaintances, accepting compliments and flattering looks. At 31, in a cherry-red jersey dress which seemed to slide off her slim curves, it would be easy to mistake her for a model. Her long-tanned legs, full-lipped pout, and the glossy brown hair which bounced onto her shoulders all gave her the striking appeal of a sultry yet aloof French actress. And currently there was an extra sparkle in Karin's wolf-green eyes. She had just sold her 5-storey home in Holland Park for £12 million to a prominent Iranian businessman, downsized to a deluxe Georgian townhouse in Kensington, and ploughed the profit into her company, Carenza, the sexiest, chicest swimwear company after Eris. Donna led her to a corner of the room where society giants Christina Levy and Diana Birtwell were huddled. "And is this the gorgeous godmother?" laughed Christina, a stunning redhead wearing Lanvin, £500,000 worth of emeralds and a cloud of bespoke scent. "Kay's just the perfect choice for godmother, darling," she smirked to Donna. "She has a fabulous archive of Chanel, for which Evie will one day be very grateful. Although I hope you're not seriously looking to her for Evie's spiritual guidance." The wife of Ariel Levy, the biggest British retail tycoon since Philip Green, Christina had only just managed to squeeze the christening in between a post-Christmas stint at Aman Salah's bikini boot camp in Tulum and the haute couture collections in Paris. Sitting next to Christina was Diana Birtwell, a decorous Paltrow blonde and wife of Martin Birtwell, the internet gambling king. Together they were Karin's closest female friends. The 3 women had shared a house in Chelsea almost a decade earlier, when Christina, a former Californian beauty queen, had come over to London to score a record deal. She had run into Karin and Diana at Hobo's nightclub, where the 2 school friends spent night after night drinking cocktails and chasing floppy-haired banking heirs. Hitting it off, the 3 of them had rented 23B College Mews, a tiny pink terrace in Chelsea, and had painted the international social scene red, white and blue, jetting around the globe at the expense of rich men. The 3 moustique-atiers, that's what they'd called themselves. They had promised lifetime loyalty to each other and swore they'd never be without De Beers diamonds. Donna passed Evie to her Australian nanny and sat opposite Diana and Christina on a huge leather ottoman. "Anyway, on to more serious matters. Who did the catering, Donna, honey?" Christina continued. "I'm looking for someone to do Joshua's birthday. We're looking for something tasteful but simple." "Actually, it's the chefs from the farm who've put this together," said Donna. "Everything being said..."